Today I'm going to demonstrate the usage of default bin in Business Central. If you go into locations list, you will find the list of location. So for this demonstration I have created a basic test location. So when it comes to default bin setup, always make sure that bin mandatory has been enabled for this particular location, and you do have two selection for default bin selection. You can select fixed bin or you can select last use bin. First I will go with fixed bin, and I will show you how it works in Business Central and what kind of setup is there for this fixed bin. If you look into the list of bins for this particular location, basic test location, you can see if you click on bins, I have created two bins for demonstration purpose, and within this bins you can go to the bin content. So the bin content is the if you take the hierarchy of a warehouse in terms of Business Central, you have location. Location is the warehouse. Then under that, if you have activated advanced warehousing, you have zone. Under zone you have bins. Under bins you have bin content. So the bin content is the last layer or the last level when it comes to warehouse operations in Business Central. So in this scenario we haven't activated any advanced warehouse function, so it is just location, and under location we do have bins. Under bins we do have contents. So if you go to contents, you can see the content page. I haven't set up the content page yet. I will demonstrate how to set up it as well in this demonstration. So first I will choose an item for this demo. So if you go to item list, I will take I do have some test items that I have created. So if I take this test item, I will take this test item for this demonstration. So if I go here, so in order to activate default bin function, so first we have activated bin mandatory checkbox or the function on our location card, and we have selected a fixed bin as the default bin selection. So after that we have to fix this item into the bin content. So in this case we can put this fixed tick box for this particular item. So let's see what's going to happen if we are going to use this item for this particular basic test location. If you're going to create a purchase order for this particular item for this particular test location, let's see what's going to happen. if I go to purchase order, and if I create a new purchase order, I will select a random vendor here. So I'm going to select this particular item, and if you select basic item here, so it's not going to select the bin code. Yeah, so in that case, we have to check what is missing. So on purpose I did that because we have to select default bin as the default bin for this particular item. In that case, we can see the default bin for that particular purchase order get populated automatically. Let me delete this line, and if I go here, if I select the basic location, it automatically selects this bin code. So it means in bin content it is mandatory that we have to fix this item to this bin code, and also we have to select default tick box for this particular item. And if you can remember, in the location card we have selected fix bin as the default bin selection. So it means whatever the bin which is fixed to that particular item will get automatically populated under bin code field as the the default bin. So that's what simply the default bin is. That what happens when you set up a default bin. This is really a time saving method in warehouse operation. If you are if you are using bins in your receiving transaction, then in that case this is really beneficial, because user doesn't have to select a bin code manually for each line. It will automatically get populated based on the location that you select. And let me show you another thing when it comes to fix bins. So if you go to the basic test location, and we are going to access bins, then the bins you're going to go to contents. If you're going to add another item, another line with the same item, if I show you this error, the recording table bin content already exists. So it means you cannot have bin content for the same bin for the same item. But there can be scenarios if you have multiple unit of measures, then in that case, yeah, you can have this. But in this scenario you cannot, because this is without any unit of measure specifically specified for a unit of measure. So in that case you cannot have actually. This is another extra thing when you have to think. So make sure that You are not adding, like anyway system is not going to allow you to add repetitive lines or the similar lines in the bin content. So that validation is there. So if you go to personalization, you do have unit of measure. This is now the extra thing. You do have unit of measure. So if you add the unit of measure here, right? So the unit of measure for this line is pieces. So if you are going to add another line here for pieces, then that error pop-ups. So if you go here, that error pop-ups. But if you so that error pop-ups because this item only has this unit of measure. So if you have like multiple unit of measure, you can add these ones, but in this case you cannot. So we can talk about unit of measure in another session, but for this session I just gave you some sort of an idea what's the logic behind the bin content. So a bin content when it comes to like larger scale warehouses, there can be multiple item measures for one item. So in that case, you can define bin content for each item measure. So that's the idea behind this. Another thing that I have to show you when it comes to this fixed bin. So if you untick this one, let's say you untick this one, so just a default bin. So it means like if you keep the default bin check mark, only the default bin check mark checked in this particular line without checking this fixed bin tick checkbox, even in that scenario system will automatically populate the default bin. oh, purchase line, purchase line. Let me delete this line and repopulate this one. So even in that case system will populate the bin code, so it automatically populates. But the difference is, let's say I just received this one. So inventory account, yeah, I haven't set up the inventory account for this one. Let me set up it. So this one and this one. Okay. Okay. So let me receive this purchase order. So what I was going to say was if you go to location card again, to have bins, then other bins, you have the bin content. So if you take the bin content now, it's just the default bin is there. What does it mean? Since this is not fixed to this item, whenever the item is the quantity is 0, it will automatically delete it from this bin content. So that what it means. But since this is like this is the first line in this bin content, it doesn't happen like that. But what it means, I will show you what it means. So if I receive this purchase order, if I receive this purchase order, let's say I just 100 quantity for this one. Release, posting. I will post this one. Receive an invoice. Okay. So if you go here, basic location, and here bin content, you do have like 100. So let me fix another item for this bin. I will fix another item. Let's say I'm going to fix this this item 1001, and I'm going to like make it fix and default. And if I yeah, let's receive item for this particular item as well, 1001. So if I go to purchase order, and if I create one, so I'm going to create this Fabricum, and for this test item, basic one, and bin one is automatically selected. And for this one I will just put 50. Here I put test invoice 2. For this one I'll post this one. Okay. Now if I go to the bins and the bin content, so you do have these ones 50 and 50. So if I remove this 100 from this bin, let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to remove this 100 from this item using an item journal. Let's see what's happened. Okay, I'm going to do a negative adjustment. Today it is going to 100, 100, 100, and the location code is very important, basic one. And where's the bin code? Let me add the bin code here. Yeah, bin 1. Okay, we're going to remove it from the bin 1. So if I go here and post, journal successfully posted. So if I go here for the bin, if I go here, yeah, now you can see that 1000, that item with 100 quantity, has been deleted from the bin content. The reason is it was only selected with default checkbox. Let's see what is going to happen for this particular item if I post a negative um, adjustment for this 50 quantity. As per the concept in Business Central, this line should remain even if I remove this whole 50 quantity. The reason is this is fixed. This is fixed for this bin. That's the real meaning of fixed bin. If it is fixed, then it is fixed. It means it is going to contain in the bin content as long as it is fixed. The moment you like uncheck this fixed tick here, once the quantity get into 0, it is automatically going to delete it from this bin content. So keep that in mind. So that is the meaning of fixed bin. So let me demonstrate that as well. Let post a negative adjustment for this 50 quantity for this particular item. Let me post that. Let me post that one. Item journal. Negative adjustment 1001, and for this basic tester, and I'm going to post negative 50. So if I post this one, so it has been posted. So if I go to bins and the bin content, yeah, you still see this line. The reason is it is fixed, but the quantity is 0. So that is the real meaning of fixed bin. If you want to fix an item to a particular bin, then you have to check fixed bin. And if you have selected the default bin selection as fixed, then make sure that you check default checkbox as well in the bin content, otherwise it's not going to appear automatically in the purchase order. And the other thing is, if I go to location card, if I go to basic, other thing is this last use bin. Last use bin means system will automatically populate last use inbound bin in the purchase order automatically. So it is like it's not going to select the it's not going to like automatically populate the fixed bin in the bin content, but it will track the last use inbound bin. I mean, whatever the bin that has been used for inbound transaction, it the system will check that bin, track that bin, and populate that bin for your next inbound transaction. So most probably normally it is the purchase order in the system. So that's what it mean by like last use bin. So that's about default bin selection. I hope you got an idea what's happening, the concept of default bin selection and the concept of fixed bin. Yeah, let's let's join with another session in another time. um, Thanks for watching.